So the Godzilla x Kong, the new Empire trailer released yesterday, and man, it was really hyped to see. I'm definitely excited to see the movie. Coming off of Godzilla Minus One, it's crazy the contrast between the two types of movies, with the MonsterVerse being more dumb fun entertainment and Godzilla Minus One being a much more grounded, serious, and honestly a better quality written story. But nonetheless, I can't deny that this movie does look absolutely amazing and incredible, and it's going to be good. I think overall it's really good to have both. I'm excited that we have both types of movies, and it's really just a good time to be a Godzilla fan in general. But we're going to go ahead and break down the trailer and talk about some things that you guys might have missed, and I'm going to give you some of my take on what's going on in Godzilla x Kong. We're going to discuss it all in this video. If you guys enjoy my MonsterVerse content, consider subscribing, and let's get into the breakdown.
The Atomic Fan.
So the trailer opens with this pink and blue theme going on. This has kind of been the theme that has been going on with all the posters and stuff and all of the marketing. I think it's showing the union of Godzilla and Kong, and also showing Godzilla's new evolved form, kind of teasing that a little bit. The movie trailer starts here with seismic activity being detected and reported, and honestly this could be multiple things in the movie, right? This could actually be the scene of Kong coming out of the ground to fight in the scene with the pyramids. This could be Godzilla evolving. This could very well be Shimo or even Scar King. So it's kind of hard to tell what the seismic activity is detecting, but I'd have to assume it's Shimo. I would think it's Shimo. And then we also see this here. Now, this is apparently an entrance to the Hollow Earth. This is a Monarch facility where they find some sort of portal or entrance to the Hollow Earth. And I'm guessing that they're utilizing it to go back and forth to the Hollow Earth to study things and to maybe build facilities inside the Hollow Earth. Who knows? But yeah, that's what I'm assuming this is a portal to the Hollow Earth. And this is obviously a scene of the pyramids. Now, when I saw this in the trailer the first time, I thought this was exciting because it kind of confirms a lot of the leaks that we have seen come out for Godzilla x Kong, and it tells us that indeed a lot of this stuff is real. Now, there's rumors that Godzilla and Kong are going to have a rematch here in the pyramids, but there is also another rumor that Kong is going to fight Shimo here. So I feel like seeing this scene here was definitely like some validation of the leaks that have come out. And this is obviously where Kong is erupting from the ground. Now, what I find to be interesting about this scene is the blue light that surrounds Kong. I'm guessing this is the arm brace or something, but I think it's still interesting nonetheless because the ground is kind of swirling there and the sand is swirling. But you know, there's a real big part of me that thinks that Kong is still going to get his lightning powers, and that could potentially be what that was teasing there. But that's definitely, of course, Kong coming out of the ground with the arm brace, probably to fight Shimo, I would think, or maybe it's the rematch with Godzilla. We're gonna have to see. Now we see a shot of some winged creatures here in the Hollow Earth, which very much potentially resemble the Hellhawks, and we know that this is actually the opening scene of the movie, so I'm guessing this is going to be our reintroduction into the Hollow Earth. That's what I'm assuming is going on in this scene, and these creatures chasing Kong are actually a pack of jackals attempting to hunt him. So we're probably going to see a pretty cool fight scene with Kong and the jackals going on here.
Yeah, and this is something obviously that was already talked about in the leaks, and you can kind of start to see the frame of the movie and how things are going to unfold. Like, all of the scenes that they're showing in the next few scenes seem to be in the first act of the movie, with the jackals being the opening scene. And then obviously, like, you're following Kong. So I'm guessing the movie is going to open with you following Monarch, right? Being reintroduced to Monarch and seeing all of their updated technology and where they're at with studying the Hollow Earth. And then you're going to probably find one of these ships or Dan Stevens' character following Kong along with Rebecca Hall's character. And that's how I'm guessing it's going to unfold. And then you're going to see Kong, like, getting chased by the jackals. And then, of course, you're going to see things unfold further. And I like the look of Kong here. I think specifically that making him look older is a good move. I think this is one of the best looks for Kong that we've seen yet in all of the movies, with him having darker fur definitely to kind of show his age here. I think it was a really smart move, because in the older movies, you know, in Kong Skull Island specifically, he was pretty brown. And then in Godzilla vs. Kong, he was like a darker brown, leaning more towards black. But here, his fur almost looks completely black. If that's how they're going to show him aging, I think it's a good move. And then him having like a fuller beard here that's pretty gray. I just think that this character model for Kong is really, really well done, and the best Kong character model that we have seen yet. And then, of course, we see in this scene that Kong is looking at what you assume is Scar King, right? Because I'm sure that Legendary knows about all of the leaks and rumors that have come out online. So when they edited this trailer, I think it was clever, where they have this looking like you're about to be introduced to Scar King, when in fact you are introduced to Zuko's character. So here's a look at him here, and I think looking at him, he definitely looks to be Scar King's son. I like the change of expression here, and I think the CGI here looks really good. For example, with Kong's fur definitely starting to show a lot of gray, and him having these longer, kind of messy hair going on in his facial expressions. If you told me that this mocap was done by Andy Serkis, I would have believed you. And then we get our look at Zuko here, and he looks really good. I think he's definitely related to Scar King. I don't know if he's specifically going to be the son of Scar King or just some kind of relative, but he looks to be of the same species as Scar King. And I think the CGI also looks pretty good here. It looks pretty decent. And this is kind of our overview shot of the Hollow Earth, of them kind of moving through the Hollow Earth, and this is our first look at Dan Stevens' character and Rebecca Hall's character returning here. She clearly has shorter hair to distinguish her look from Godzilla vs. Kong, and there's Dan Stevens there. And this is our first look at the giant handprint that we now know is Scar King. So I don't know, has it been officially confirmed that that handprint that was on the giant cliff or whatever in Kong Skull Island was Scar King? Like, I know that's kind of the way they made it seem on the Instagram post, but I'm not sure if it's something that Legendary has actually confirmed yet. I haven't looked into it. If it's something that you guys know, maybe drop it in the comments below. But I've looked around and can't seem to find any information actually confirming that that is Scar King. But we're going to find out when the movie comes out. But that's definitely the handprint of Scar King. I'm sure it's supposed to be some representative of his ape tribe. So here we see Kong falling into the Hollow Earth, into these crystal-like structures, and I believe that these are the crystals that are going to help Godzilla evolve into his more evolved form. You can see the hints of pink energy here, but I also feel like this could tie into Shimao. Now we know that this is probably going to maybe tie into Godzilla, because of the Godzilla x Kong toys that have leaked out and the size of the box art that have shown that Godzilla's evolved form is going to be linked to giant pink crystals. Probably these crystals here that are found in the Hollow Earth, and seem to also be tied somehow to Scar King. So somehow this is all going to tie together, and we're going to see when the movie comes out. These are obviously dead Kongs here that Scar King either seems to have killed or maybe potentially eaten or something. I don't know. He kind of comes off like he could be potentially a cannibal of some sort. This seems to be a shot of the ape tribe that is Scar King's following. And what's interesting here, something you guys might have missed, is you can actually see the pink crystal energy up here. So this is definitely somehow tied into Scar King, and I think is going to tie into Godzilla evolving into his new form as well. But this is a very good shot and definitely shows that these apes seem to be almost trapped here or something. Maybe this is just a meeting place, because we can see here later in the shot that it seems to be all the male apes gathered together. This is a shot of Scar King that we saw from the Godzilla x Kong teaser trailer. I think this is a cool shot here. CGI looks about the same, so I thought that this was just for the teaser trailer. I actually didn't think this was going to be in the movie, but I guess now we know it is. So, and here we get a better shot of the jackals, who actually kind of look like lions, right? Yeah, and then moving on to this shot, we get a shot of the hairy cheeks, as Chris from C3 Films would call it here, and we see Kong leaping over the cliff, and I always like the aesthetic of the Hollow Earth, with them having mountains up here as well and river streams. I think it's just really interesting, gives some Inception vibes going on, you know. So then we come to this shot of Jaya here with the Ewe Tribe. Now this is a returning character from Godzilla vs. Kong. A few years have passed, so she's a little older, and I believe this is some ritual that's tied into Godzilla's evolved form and something they're doing to charge the energy for it or something like that. They talked about it a little bit in the leaks as well. So now this looks to be a scene with a crustacean-like creature in, I think, London or somewhere in England, something like that, showing that Titans are invading the planet. I think this is probably a scene towards the end of the movie with Shimao. And then this is a scene, I think, when Kong is going to be meeting Scar King This is something that they also show a little later in the trailer, so we'll come back to this, but I think this ties directly into another scene where we see Scar King, and I really think that what's going to happen is that you're going to meet Zuko, and then Zuko is going to bring Kong to the ape tribe that Scar King is the leader of. Now, this is another good shot of Kong, and you can see how expressive he is, and I think this is why, you know, it's not bad that Kong is the main character of the MonsterVerse. I think a lot of this stuff is actually really well done with Kong being the central focus, only because Kong is the more human-like character. As long as Godzilla gets a lot of screen time and is the secondary character, then I think it's really well done when they do Kong as the main character, as long as it doesn't take too much away from Godzilla's screen time. But Kong really grounds the movie and helps the audience relate to the film because of how expressive he is and how human-like his emotions are, and this scene kind of displays that there. Here we see Jaya climbing to the top, and I actually think potentially this could be something related to Mothra, but I guess we're gonna see with the film, or maybe even giving Kong his lightning power, something I'm still hung up on and think is gonna end up popping up in the movie. This is a shot of the ice where Godzilla is hibernating and powering up. I'm guessing that he is frozen in the ice by Shimo. This is something that we also know is covered in the leaks, and really, guys, I do not like the name Shimo. I really like the name Shimu better. It sounded something like at least native-like, but with Shimo, I think it just sounds completely ridiculous. So yeah, Godzilla is about to come out of the ice here. You can see that he is charging up, and what's interesting about this shot is actually these vines that are creeping up through the ice. Like, look at them right here on this side of the screen. On the right hand side, you can really see them sprouting up through the ice. So we're gonna see how that ties into the film. Maybe it could have something to do with Shimo's power and the way that he froze him in the ice. And here we see Godzilla slowly waking up. We see his shot of his eye there, and this is Godzilla coming out of the ice, looking completely badass and completely taking inspiration from the Millennium 2000 version of Godzilla, a version of Godzilla that I actually really like. I think Godzilla 2000 was badass. I actually just got done showing my wife Godzilla 2000 a little bit. It's really a good design for Godzilla. And here we see Godzilla roaring here in all his glory. And you can already see in this shot just how much thinner Godzilla is. So it seems like the leaks of rumors talking about Godzilla not exactly having a skinnier design. There were some leaks talking about that being an early conceptual design. I guess those leaks were wrong because he does seem to be leaner here, and you can actually see some bicep definition, which is crazy for Godzilla. But what I like about this shot is that you can actually see Godzilla's fin right here in the shot. I went ahead and minimized my camera a little bit so that you guys can pay better attention to the video, but you can see Godzilla's fin right here, and man, that looks sick. I think that overall this design for Godzilla is a good one. I think it's a little less green. Maybe this is just because he's popping out of the snow. It looks a little darker and more closer to a black color, but also towards the end of the trailer he definitely looks a little more green, so maybe this is just his initial appearance here. And look at his spikes and dorsal plates, and look how crazy they look. They are definitely much more protruded and look to be much more fleshy in appearance, along with that crazy pink glow he has going on there. Here we see the shots of Scar King. This is when Scar King is introduced in the trailer for the first time. And I gotta be honest, when this edit happened in the trailer, you guys might have caught it in my reaction, but I was a little bit taken back because I was like, what the hell just happened? I honestly thought the trailer ended. I thought this was sort of a weird cut in the film, in the trailer, and it was a bit of a weird cut for them to put in a trailer. But nonetheless, the reveal of Scar King was pretty cool. And you can kind of see he has like a fang here poking up out of his mouth. He has one of his teeth sticking up here, and he has this red war paint on his face, which looks really badass. I don't think the CGI shot is that great, but I think it's pretty cool. Now, this is the part in the trailer that you might not notice because it goes by pretty quickly, but you get to see all the other male apes here sitting alongside Kong, who is actually in the center. And I think this is definitely the scene where Zuko brings Kong to Scar King, because you can see Zuko down here in the shot. So Zuko is actually right here. He's in the shot, and you can see Kong here as well. And that's something I didn't catch at first because I was so hyped about the trailer. But you can see all this other, war paint or whatever on all these other male apes. So it's definitely some kind of tribal paint, some kind of tribal symbolism for Scar King's tribe. of apes, and you can see how much Kong sticks out here and just how distinct he is. He looks much older than all the other apes, and honestly much less generic. A lot of these apes look pretty similar to one another. And here we see Scar King, the leader of the ape tribe. And man, this slow-mo shot, you really get to see a little bit more expression with Scar King, right? So you can see there, I mean, look how crazy this guy fucking looks. I mean, this Scar King definitely looks insane. You can see his eyes there aren't just glowing blue, but they are actually blue, right? And then we get to see him roaring there with his saliva popping out and everything like that. And it actually interjects to 2 shots. So one of those shots is Scar King in the Hollow Earth, and this is Scar King on the mainland on a beach, and you just get to see how huge he is compared to a normal person with his giant tail whipped around his chest. And he looks like a balding old man as well. He's definitely an ugly fucking ape. He definitely is ugly. I think Kong's going to come in and whoop that ass, but we're going to see. Now we get to see Godzilla's evolved form charging up here. This is definitely the climax of the movie, and I think that's something that you guys also may have noticed in this trailer. It seems very much that Godzilla is indeed not the main character of the movie and that Kong is the main character of the movie. The leaks and rumors say that Godzilla is frozen somewhere in the first act of the movie and does not come back until the final act of the film, and that's something I can very much see happening, giving us some Godzilla King of the Monsters vibes, where Godzilla was pretty much underwater for a big portion of the movie and then had to be nuked when he came back. And here in the sunlight you can really see that they changed Kong's fur to a much darker color. Here we get to see Godzilla's atomic breath, which after seeing Godzilla -1, man, I don't know if it compares. Godzilla -1's atomic breath is just on another level compared to this atomic breath here. And then this is the money shot in the trailer, the somewhat controversial shot that some people have said looks too cheesy and over the top. You see Godzilla popping out of the damn ground here, running with Kong, and I don't know, I mean, this isn't bad, it's whatever. Definitely gives me some Transformers vibes, but really, if you look here, you can see Godzilla has much thinner and was working out or something in the ice, because he's got some damn bicep definition going on and actually has some beefy arms. And I think it's interesting because it shows that Godzilla's evolution was definitely tied to Mechagodzilla. You get a shot there of Godzilla's pink fin as well when the trailer slows up. But yeah, it definitely shows that Godzilla's evolution was inspired by Mechagodzilla, because his limbs have gotten longer, he's gotten thinner, he's gotten faster and more agile. And you can even argue that his atomic breath is almost a reddish color, with it being like this pink magenta. But this definitely seems to be the climax of the movie when they fight Shimo in the Hollow Earth with Kong's arm brace here, which is apparently gotten when Kong's arm is broken, I think by Scar King or by Shimo in one of their fights. And that's pretty much all I got, guys. I think this is most of the trailer. Comment down below whatever you guys think about the Godzilla x Kong trailer, if you are excited for it. And I think this is most of everything that we got for this Godzilla x Kong first trailer. I'm sure that we'll see some more stuff when that second trailer comes out, and I'm sure it'll come out here in a few months. But we do have another little shot here at the end, another little teaser of them returning to the humor, the Marvel-like humor that they had from Godzilla vs. Kong. We get to have a shot of Zuko here at the end, definitely giving me some Son of Godzilla vibes, honestly, with what's going on here. Kind of giving me some Manila vibes, but I don't think it's going to be quite that corny. But you can see here that the CGI is definitely unfinished, guys, but you got to give them some time, because they are going to polish this up, and it's going to look really good when it comes out on April 11th or 12th. So we'll see when this movie releases. What I think is interesting is it says only in theaters 2024, right? What's interesting about this, and I don't think this is something that other people have picked up on, is it gives me the hint that they could push the release date again if something goes down, and they might be leaving that on the table, because it says only in theaters 2024, leaving room for them to move that release date again. So kind of leaving general audiences in the dark on when the movie comes out. Unless you go on Google and type in the Godzilla x Kong release date, you wouldn't really know based on this trailer. So I'm interested if we're going to actually get to see Kong's lightning powers. I think they might be saving something exciting for the film. We definitely haven't seen Shimo yet, but I think that we might see him in the next trailer. But comment down below whatever y'all think about the Godzilla X Kong trailer, and if you're excited for the movie, if you're going to be checking it out, or if you think the MonsterVerse is jumping the shark and going too far. That's something I'm going to be talking about in a video here soon. It's something I'm writing up now, is whether or not the MonsterVerse is going too far. But whatever you guys think, comment down below. And for this video, that's all I got. So until the next one, be safe and stay well. Bye-bye.